Hi there, this is John Wilkinson again from History Made Easier with another focus presentation on the causes of World War One. Morocco, an independent country, but with businessmen from several European countries keen to exploit its potential. Morocco is important for a number of reasons. It shows Germany's desperate desire to be seen as a great power. Britain stands against Germany and firms up its entente with France, and it estranges Germany from Russia. Well, ultimately, it shows how easily Europe could spiral into a major war. Although it was more to do with European power politics than imperialism, France, who controlled neighbouring Algeria, hoped for the major share of the spoils in Morocco, even for control, and Britain supported France. But Germany wanted a place at the centre of European affairs. No decision of international importance should be made without Germany playing a full part. Deals between Britain and France about carving up the world were not on, and they had a point. So Morocco was the colonial issue over which everyone made a stand. In 1905, Bülow, the German foreign minister, got the Kaiser to visit Tangier in Morocco. And while he was there, he told the French that Germany expected the rights it was entitled to in Morocco, and told the Sultan that Germany recognised Morocco's independence. France was in no position to go to war, but Britain was determined to stand up to Germany. The matter was resolved at the Algeciras conference, held in January 1906. Germany was isolated, supported only by Austria-Hungary and Morocco itself, but with France, Britain and Russia all against it. Germany was furious with Russia. Its relations permanently soured. The Kaiser had given support to Nicholas II during the Russo-Japanese War, more support than France had given its supposed ally. Yet Russia sided against it, in favour of France. It needed more French loans. Another significant consequence of the conference was that the entente, which Germany had hoped to break, held firm. Indeed, it strengthened. With the crisis over, the British and French military held detailed talks, and any war plan would only be against Germany. These included everything from French war plans to likely British troop numbers and the logistics required in landing them in France. Naval discussions also took place. No commitments were made, but such talks had not been held before. The Franco-Russian alliance held too. Germany had played the bully, but ultimately had failed to achieve much. What should have served as a warning, however, was how easily the public in France, Germany and Britain could be inflamed by such an affair. How an issue such as Morocco could have far greater ramifications for the European powers. Indeed, how countries seemed ready to go to war over an issue that did not directly affect them. Germany also had a valid grievance in the Second Moroccan Crisis. France had gone beyond the agreements made at Algeciras, asserting economic and political dominance over Morocco, regardless of its independence or the interests of other powers. Morocco was looking more and more like a French protectorate in everything but name, when in May 1911 France sent troops to quell a riot in Fez, Morocco's capital. But as with the first crisis, Germany pushed it too far, sending a gunboat, the Panther, followed by a light cruiser, the Berlin, ostensibly to protect its citizens. The French were again clear that they were in no position to risk war, but again Britain stood firm. Sir Arthur Nicholson, head of the Foreign Office, wrote, "If Germany saw the slightest weakening on our part, her pressure on France would become intolerable to that country, who would have to fight or surrender." As a result, Lloyd George, not a warmonger, made Britain's position public in a speech saying, "If a situation were to be forced upon us in which peace could only be preserved by the surrender of the great and beneficent position Britain has won by centuries of heroism and achievement, then I say emphatically that peace at that price would be a humiliation intolerable for a great country like ours to endure." But Germany was also determined to stand firm. Chancellor Bethmann Hollweg told Wilhelm that if Germany failed to come out of the crisis well, our credit in the world will suffer unbearably, not only for the present, but for all future diplomatic actions. And the mood of the German people, inflamed by the German press, would make it very difficult for Germany to back down. And it wasn't just the German people. Von Moltke, head of the German army, he wrote, "If we once again crawl out of this affair with our tail between our legs, if we cannot pull ourselves together and take an energetic line which we are ready to back up with the sword, I despair for the future of the German Empire and shall quit." Once again, Europe was threatened by war, and the threat was being taken seriously. In Britain, the Committee of Imperial Defence met to consider Britain's war plans. Germany seriously considered a preventive war. A compromise was reached between the Germans and the French. Germany got the French Congo out of the deal. But so quickly had things almost led to war that it says much for the nervous state that Europe was in. And as Edward Grey, the British Foreign Secretary, later reflected, the consequences of such a foreign crisis do not end with it. They seem to end, but they go underground and reappear later on. Prophetic words. The nationalist press in Germany immediately showed what Grey was getting at. "Have we become a generation of women?" one paper asked. So, the two Moroccan crises were a big deal. Germany was left frustrated. Would it be prepared to compromise again? It had also heightened awareness in Britain to the growing German threat, and had only served to further strengthen the entente. Though Grey was instructed not to commit to anything, military and naval talks were renewed. But I still maintain that the Moroccan crises were not so much a matter of imperial expansion as a reflection of the bigger power game being played out by Europe's great powers. I hope you find this useful. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tell your friends about it. Make me feel wanted. But for now, let me thank you for listening, and let me wish you the very best of luck in your studies. Cheers.